everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we have a View from Tracy's Point short here where the ladies of hip-hop and I guess R&B, no, not R&B, the ladies of hip-hop and neo-soul have been off the chain today. And I really should be in the bed right now because my mom, oh, let me tell y'all this quick story. So my mom called me and we're supposed to be going to this Dr. Martin Luther King breakfast in the morning. Breakfast started at 7:30. My mama said the doors open at 6:30 and she won't be there on time. So to me, on time is 7:25. We pulling into the parking lot. My mama's like, no. She says, I'm leaving this house at 6:45, and if you are here, you can ride with me. And if you're not here, I'm going to leave your ticket in the mailbox. I said, well, leave my ticket in the mailbox because I can almost guarantee you I'm not going to be there at 6:45. So then I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so they're in Japan and their tour guide was telling them that, you know, timeliness is important and that if you're not on time, it shows that you don't respect the person, that they don't respect her. So, of course, the sisters were late. I had to text my friend and tell her, girl, we can take Japan off our list of places to go because my ass ain't never anywhere on time. So ain't no needing me going to Japan and then they getting upset because I'm 30 minutes late, an hour late. It just don't work for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video. We're going to talk about Cardi B getting into a Twitter beef with Tomi Lahran, who's like a conservative. I think she might be on Fox News. I'm not sure, or a blogger or something, but she's always yapping her mouth. So she decided to come at Cardi B after Cardi B made the video that I posted the other night. You guys can go and check that out, where she was talking about the shutdown and the state of the country. Then we have Erykah Badu, who's in concert in Chicago, and asked the audience if they would join her in praying for R. Kelly. And then, of course, you know, social media went way off tilter, you know, trying to come for Erykah Badu. But Erykah says she's standing firm in her position. And then we have the rapper YoYo from, I think, like the 90s. She was real popular. Remember Ladies First with the Brat and, well, the Brat might not have been with them, but Queen Latifah, YoYo, oh, my girl, MC Light, and there was one other person. But anyway, well, she was interviewed on the red carpet of the Trumpet Awards, and she had a little story to tell about R. Kelly and her daughter. And then we had the Brat, who was also at the awards, and she also was asked about the R. Kelly situation. And she had a comment that probably isn't going to sit well with too many people. But I guess she doesn't have the same platform as Erykah does because they didn't really come for the Brat after she made her comment. But basically, when Cardi made that video, she got a whole lot of support. A lot of people agreed with her. There were actually some photos that were taken. I don't know if they were federal workers, but there were some white women, you know, that were standing in support of Cardi B. And, you know, they had signs saying Cardi 2020, I guess, for, you know, she should be running for president. And then I remember seeing a response from the girl from the Bronx, and I'm going to post her comment also. Can't think of her name. The young chick who just made it to the Senate, and she's been all over the news. I'll get her name and put it in the byline. But, you know, she basically spoke out also, you know, in support of Cardi B and her comment. But anyway, so Tomi Lahran decided that she was going to comment, and she goes, looks like at Cardi B is the latest genius political mind to endorse the Democrats. Ha, keep it up, guys. Mega 2020, and you know, MAGA is MAGA 2020, which is Make America Great Again. People came for Tomi Lahran, you know, like, you're not gonna mess with Cardi B. So she didn't get the feedback that she was hoping she was going to get back, because people were in defense of Cardi B and saying that what Cardi was saying was correct. and that Tomi Lahran needs to get in touch with reality. So then Cardi responded and said, "Leave me alone, I will dog walk you." So it's like, okay. So then Tomi comes back and she says, "I'm sure you would. Still doesn't make your political rambling less moronic." And then Cardi replied, "You're so blinded with racism that you don't even realize the decisions the president you root for is destroying the country you claim to love so much. You are a perfect example on no matter how educated or smart you think you are, you're still a sheep." Okay. Somebody named White Bread, Chris Pavoni, says, "I am Cardi B. You gonna pay for my insurance, and do I get to pick my doctor and my own plan?" So I guess that was his comeback in support of Tomi. And then Cardi replied, "I'm paying about $4 million in taxes this year, so most likely I am paying for your damn insurance." She didn't say damn, but she said, "Most likely I am paying for your insurance. That's if your favorite president don't take my tax money for his wall, Mr. White Bread." So I was like, I wonder who be handling Cardi B's social media, because they be coming with it. So then Tomi Lahran jumps in again and says, "You do realize these high taxes you complain about are the bedrock of the Democratic Party, right? If you want lower taxes and more economic freedom, beware of the party you are rooting for." Oh, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the girl I was trying to think of. So she replied, "Why do people think they can mess with Bronx women without getting roasted? They act as though our borough hasn't been perfecting the clapback game since the Sugar Hill game." Y'all just found it on Twitter. Thought that was cute. So then what else did this heifer say? Oh, then Tomi Lahran's like, look up. She tries to deflect from what the Alexandria girl says. So she goes, "Look up dog walk you and tell me what you find. This whole thing is textbook Democrat. You whine about violence and do PSAs about bullying, but applaud, encourage, and laugh at threats towards people who think differently than you. Then you justify it with labels like racist." So now, I don't know why she felt the need. Well, she probably came at Cardi B the same reason that Donald Trump be coming at people. Like, if they think they're smarter than someone, that they're more powerful than someone, then those are the people they want to attack. Now, I couldn't see her attacking Michelle Obama. I don't think she would come for Michelle Obama, but she looks down on Cardi B, and that's why she felt the need to come for Cardi B. But Cardi said what she said, okay? And I think that when you say what you say and you mean what you say, you don't have to get into back and forth with people like this, you know, because I think your word stands firm. And I know social media, it drives people crazy. Like, I'll make a post and then they want to argue with me about my post. And I'm like, I said what I said and what I meant in my original post. So why do I need to come back and go back and forth with you? You know, and so Cardi needs to, you know, take that same attitude. But she did come back, you know, with some good responses. And then after a while, she was like, "Child, y'all can have this." And then there were, like I said, there were enough people in support of Cardi B that she really didn't have to go back and forth with this troll. Let's go on to Erykah Badu. So Erykah Badu made a statement, and I'm going to go ahead and play that for you now, and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts.
Is this Oprah? Where Oprah from? Y'all got R. Kelly too. about it, but I'm putting up a prayer right now for R. I hope he sees the light of day. If he's done all those things that we've seen on TV and heard those ladies talk about, I hope he sees the light of day and comes forward. What y'all say? Fuck him. That's not love.
Thank you.
That's not unconditional love. But what if one of the people that was what if one of the people that was assaulted by R. Kelly grows up to be an offender? We gonna crucify them? I mean, how do we do this? It's just something to think about.
This has been going on for 20 years.
I can't hear y'all talking at once. I can't.
Sing!
Cause they about to R. Kelly me to death on the internet. I'm like, God damn. They about to build a wall to death on the internet. Yeah, I just want peace in life for everybody and healing for everyone.
Amen.
Healing for those who were hurt, because everybody involved has been hurt, victimized in some kind of way. I want peace and relaxation and love for everybody. Yeah. Let me see how I'm gonna spin out of this shit, because this is
So if you know anything about social media, you know that it is a place where people love to sit behind keyboards and, you know, say whatever it is they want to say. A lot of times people are actually paid to make some of the comments they make to like keep the algorithms going, but there's like a class for another day on how the whole social media thing works. But I understood perfectly what Erykah Badu was saying, and I think if all of us was to look at our personal lives, not our social media lives that we try to put up this front for other people, but actually look into our lives and look at the people in our lives who have not been perfect. And we will better be able to understand what Erykah Badu was saying, because what she was saying was, I can still love you as a person. I can still want the best for you. I can still pray for you and not agree with what you've done. And I'll use myself as an example because I have shared a lot about myself on this channel in a few of these 400 and some videos that I have done since I started this channel in late 2016. And one of the things that I shared was about the father of my kids. So I have 3 daughters, you guys know, and my 2 oldest daughters, their father is in prison from now on. He was like one of the first people to be tried under the federal drug kingpin law, where it says that if you commit a murder in the process of running these drug organizations, that you could receive the death penalty. Well, by the grace of God, they had like 6 murder charges they were trying to put on him, and all of those charges ended up being dropped. So here he was. I mean, our relationship had ended when he decided, you know, he was going to be the Nino Brown of St. Petersburg, but he was still the father of my kids. And so I still, you know, had to have a relationship with him, and he's still like, I don't talk to him, you know, since he's been gone. He's been in prison for I think I was pregnant with my daughter Shantae. She'll be 26 in April. And I was actually pregnant when his trial was going on. And the federal courthouse was up the street from where I worked at the time. And so I would go and sit in on the hearings and everything. And so if you are a compassionate person for people, if you believe in rehabilitation, you believe, you know, that your story today doesn't have to be your story tomorrow, you'll get where Erykah Badu was coming from. And so I say all that to say, yes, he, you know, was accused and convicted of selling crack cocaine in the community. I'm sure as a result, a lot of lives were destroyed. A lot of bad things happened in the city, but it doesn't negate the fact that he's a human being, that's the father of my children. So no, I'm not going to say I hate him. I think he's an awful person. And then on that same token, you know, I have a cousin who actually is finishing up like a 30-year prison sentence for, he was tried and convicted of raping his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend. And he didn't do the 30-something years because of the rape conviction. He did it because it was like in Florida, they have like a strike 3 type thing where they can sentence you to like 25 years in prison. If you are like a repeat offender, you keep getting in trouble. And so he had like a lot of small convictions, and then he had this major rape conviction, and he was sentenced to like 30-something years in prison. So he's getting out in a couple of years. Do you think I'm going to turn my back on him? I'm going to hate him and say, oh, well, you went to jail for raping somebody, so I'll never talk to you again. I'll never have anything to do with you. And so, and the story can go on. I know people that are in prison for murder. Like, I know people, the full spectrum. And I think if we would all be honest with ourselves, the majority of us know people, that there are people in our lives, people that have been a part of our lives, people that we've known who have gone to prison, because trust me, all the millions of people sitting in jail are related to somebody, they're friends of somebody. And so I just think to say that you can't separate what somebody has done from, you know, the fact that they're still a human being and they're still deserving of compassion, to me makes absolutely no sense. So I completely understood what she was saying in that video. And I think that the majority of the people that get on social media and talk all this trash and put all these, you know, what they would never do, what they would never accept, what they would never put up with, are full of crap. And you can have your opinion about the whole R. Kelly situation. I respect everybody's opinion. I think that varying opinions keeps the conversation going. But just to be on somebody's social media just spewing hateful comments and, oh, we're going to cancel you now, because that seems to be the thing with people who ain't got nothing. They never accomplished nothing in their life. Their thing now is, oh, let's jump on this bandwagon and let's pull this person down, you know. So they're like, oh, well, we're going to cancel Erykah Badu. And I'm just like, get a life. Get off of social media and get a life. So now we move over to YoYo, okay, and so she was at these trumpet awards. You know what, I said I was going to look up trumpet awards because I thought that was a gospel award show, but let me look this up real quick to see exactly what these awards were. Okay, so the Trumpet Awards is a celebration of African-American leaders who have achieved greatness and inspiration or inspired others. Okay, so I was all wrong. What's the award show that is for the gospel people? I don't know. But anyway, so the awards was taking place. They were stopping people on the red carpet. I don't know if they asked everybody about R. Kelly or just a few people, but they interviewed the rapper YoYo. And so for some reason, she came up and said that she actually has a story to tell. Go ahead and listen to the story that she had to tell.
For a long time.
Yes.
How do you feel about this whole R. Kelly thing?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel about this whole R. Kelly thing?
Oh, God, you know, the scary part about the whole R. Kelly thing is I really didn't really trip too hard because, you know, as an artist, you know, you don't really want to say too much to put your input in. But you know, I actually went to R. Kelly's studio and to listen to his new album. And the sad part of
Chicago studio?
he keeps in Los Angeles, and I actually went to listen to his music, and my daughter came with me. And the sad part was, when we got home, my daughter said, "Mom, someone passed me R. Kelly's number." And I'm like, "What?" She was like, "Mom, don't say nothing. That's why I didn't want to tell you." So I kind of like, you know, it was almost like, she's like, "Mom, that's why I didn't want to say anything. That's why I didn't want to say anything. Don't say anything." So, I mean, and I didn't say anything, but, you know, it really let me know there is a real problem. It really let me know that there really is a problem, because with all of that was going on, for that to still had happened, and it happened to me, and I was thinking, I'm your friend. I come there with my daughter who's over 21, but you don't know my daughter's age, and behind my back, you will slide my daughter your number? That's just weird to me, like a weirdo. Who would do that?
So you've been hip to the game for a very long time.
I haven't been hip to the game, but I was aware of the game, you know, and I really didn't have an opinion at first, because I didn't know the stories. I didn't know how deep it was. I never really knew how deep it was, but it hit home when I got home, and I realized that here I am supporting my brother in music, you know, not being judgmental, and then my daughter says, you know, I got a number. Now, just what if my daughter had been naive and wouldn't have told me at all? Wouldn't have said, "Mom, someone passed me the number." What if she had said that? So I sympathize with the parents who are having trouble with their kids. But just thank God, you know, my daughter is like me, strong, independent, and she said something to me. Just think of how many kids don't say anything, who are just, you know, in awe. Because really, we were listening to the music, I was just like, wow, this dude is so freaking talented. Like, in awe of his album, just mesmerized, just really thinking like, wow, I see why they love him so much, to get home to realize, you know.
Now, her daughter, as she admits in this video, is over the age of 21. Now, I understand what she meant about R. Kelly, like, disrespected their friendship, because I think that if I was somewhere with my daughter, or one of my daughters, and an older guy tried to hit on my daughter, I probably would take offense to that, and I would say something to them. But at the end of the day, if my daughter is grown, then there's really nothing you can do about it. So I'm kind of like on the fence with this one, but more so, why are you adding to the story? Some people feel she should add to the story. Some people feel that she's just trying to get the spotlight. Just her, I know I just have the audio here, but like her mannerisms was like, you could tell she was conflicted in telling the story. It was like she had decided beforehand that if somebody asked her about R. Kelly, she was going to reveal this story. But then you could tell by like where her eyes were moving around and just her overall body language, that as she was telling the story, she was kind of like regretting the decision. And I don't know if the regret was, now I'm putting my daughters, because she's very private about her family. Like, people were trying to find images of her daughters, and it was like no pictures on her Facebook page. You know, every now and then there might be like a family picture, but she doesn't tag her daughters. She doesn't like actually say their names on the pictures. But I think she may have been regretting it as she was telling the story. Like, now people are going to be trying to figure out which one of my daughters I'm talking about. This is going to put them into the spotlight. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think she should have told the story, or should she have just said she doesn't have any comment on the situation? Then we go over to the Brat, and when they asked the Brat about it, the Brat said she loved R. Kelly. R. Kelly is her homie, and she ain't turning on him. And listen for yourself.
I want to know your opinions on this whole R. Kelly situation.
Oh, you can't ask me that, you know. That's a rough one, you know. I do think he needs help. I love him. I grew up with him. He's kind of like family, you know what I'm saying? Miss McGlynn we had the same music teacher. We were around the same circles, you know, as kids. I've never seen him do anything bad, but I don't believe all these people are lying. But at the same time, we're the parents.
Sure.
So, you know, I think he needs help for sure. I love him. I hope he don't get mad at me. And I think the parents need to take responsibility. Where is your 14-year-old child? Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? Something's wrong with that.
Will you still be able to listen to the music?
I can't stop listening to the music. Never will I stop listening to the music, okay? I might not buy no more, but it's already in my playlist.
So guys, what do you think about the Brat standing firm with her homie? I know for me personally, there are some people in my life, like my homegirls from back in the day, that I'm just not going to turn my back on. I'm sorry, like I'm going to tell them that, girl, you was wrong. You shouldn't have did that. If there is a crime that they've committed, I would be the person that may or may not, probably won't bail them out of jail, because I told y'all before, I told my kids, don't ever get arrested and use your one call on me, because I ain't answering, and I would be very hard pressed to be taking my hard-earned money bailing you out of jail. And so far I have not had to go and bail nobody out of jail, but you never know what you would do until the circumstances arrive. But I just think that when it comes to my friends, my lifelong friends, that we have been such an intricate part in each other's lives that there is no way I would stop loving them, and there is no way that I would abandon them regardless of the situation, regardless of what they're accused of doing, regardless of what they're going through. I just cannot see myself being that person that would just walk away and abandon somebody and say, oh, I hate them, I think they're despicable, whatever. And it kind of like made me think about like when people get arrested, like serial killers like Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer and people like that. Like we see them and we wonder, well, I wonder, and it might be just the writer in me that I just be trying to get deep into stuff. But like I always wonder, like, what do their families think? What did their parents think? What did they feel? Look at the Casey Anthony, you know, where she murdered the baby. Like, I don't know. It's just like you really don't know how you will react or respond until you're actually in that situation where you either have to defend somebody, speak on somebody's behalf, or turn your back on somebody. I just think that the reason there has been so much silence when it comes to this R. Kelly thing amongst celebrities is that people are really conflicted and people are really torn, and people realize that I'm not perfect. I probably have done some things in the past. And then I also just think people are sick and tired of the whole social media furor where people are just like tear down, tear down, tear down. And it's like, you know, somebody here wrote on one of the stories that I just covered, and it was like, oh, I think it was the Erykah Badu thing. And they was like, well, how can you say pray for him? And how can you say, you know, that we should try to help him when he won't even acknowledge that he's wrong, that he has done anything wrong? And to me, I think part of praying for a person is getting them to understand where they are wrong and getting them to the place where they do acknowledge what they're doing, and that you don't just go to a person and say, well, if you don't act the way I want you to act, if you don't do what I want you to do in the time frame that I want you to do, then I'm just going to throw you out. I think it's a process to get to, you know, and then who are we to say how long it should take somebody to acknowledge what they're doing, especially when we're obviously talking about some psychological issues that's going on. Erykah Badu also brought up the whole thing about, you know, the molestation, and she asked the question, well, what if somebody that he molested, like one of these women that are on this docuseries who claim that they've been molested, what if they then go and molest somebody? Are you going to put the same hatred against them that you're putting against him? And people didn't want to really answer that question. And so I think it's really deeper than, you know, the whole black and white, the just throw him out, throw him in jail, you know, based on what people are saying, and just forget about it. I just think that it's far deeper than that. And then, you know, people like myself and Erykah Badu who are like looking at the picture in its totality and considering all the components, all the moving parts of this machine that's going on, people don't want to be that. They just want everything to be cut and dry. They just want it to be this or that. They don't want to have to think. They don't want to have to assess information. And I think that's the part that like annoys me the most out of, and not even just this story, but mainly any story that's in the media where people just jump on board and they're like, rah, 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 you know, and it's just like, get over yourself, will you? So anyway, guys, that's me. That's my thoughts on, you know, these comments and stories that were shared over the past 24 hours. And that's all I got. Leave your comments below as always. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And let's just get the conversation going. I hope everyone has a blessed week. And I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.